YouTube. I wanted to make this video as kind of an update for the CX Racing up and forward big block headers. Okay, they say that you have to run a short valve cover and you don't. But I'm going to show you the problem, and I'm going to tell you about a valve cover you can get to use that will let you run a tall valve cover with rockers, roller rockers, stud girdles, and these headers will clear. Okay, as you can see, the gap. When you tip this header up, see, and I've got two bolts. I borrowed one of the valve covers off the other engine because it's a slant top, it's a tall, which, you know, inset bolt. But as you can see, I got a bolt in two of the holes to center it up. But as you can see, you got about a ½ inch gap down there. Now, you can do one of two things, and this is what we've done even when we don't have a turbo set up, but we did this on a buddy's car. He run these, they're on a Nova, big block, wanted to run a nice valve cover. Couldn't run a short one because of the valve train and all the geometry and stuff going on like I got, you know. Here's what he had to do. He went to a company called Hardin Marine, and he got a 3/4 inch, that's the biggest one they make, header spacer. And they're for the wet headers on a boat. Like I was saying in the earlier video, to align your exhaust so it'll go through the transom on the back of the boat where your exits are at. But there's a company called Eddie Marine. You can go to Summit, type in Eddie Marine EMI Thunder Series valve covers. They're valve covers, they're tall valve covers. They make them, most all of them are aluminum. They've got them in powder coat, they've got them in polish, they've got them in chrome, they've got them in purple, blue, red, black powder coat. They've got some with a diamond cut pattern on the top of them. They go anywhere from about $160 a pair up into the 300s depending on what you want. What they are is right here, they come in and they cut this off right here and then come down, and they leave enough room where this corner's cut out right here where these headers will actually tip up and they can lay in like they're supposed to, bolt all the way up to the head, and you've got clearance. Now, the thing is, they have the top cut off. You know, it don't give you the big wide massive look like a big block gives you, Chevrolet does for your valve cover. A lot of guys like that look of the big valve cover up there. The big flat rectangle valve cover makes the engine look massive. Okay, that really shouldn't matter, because if anybody looks, they're going to know it's a big block Chevy. They don't have to look at the massive valve covers. They should be able to look and see by everything else what you have. So you can either do like we did on his Nova, and we put 3 inch, I think is what we used. They're either 2.7 or 3 inch. Anyway, 3/8 studs, because you don't want a bolt going through all that, going into the head, in and out. So we put the studs in it, put a gasket, spacer, gasket, header, and then tighten it all down. Ain't had any trouble with it. It's not a big issue. But I ain't decided yet whether I'm going to run a spacer for these, because I do have a nice set of black powder coated valve covers that are like this all the way across, and the bolts go in like these do on both sides. They're black powder coated that I really like to use to finish off my black and aluminum theme I've got going on. Or I might end up going with a set of them. And they've got some really cool powder coated purple, they've got blue, they've got red, black. I think they got a carbon fiber look one. They've got some that are powder coated black, and then like on the top up here it's like a diamond cut finish, and around here and they got some that are ball milled black with the ribs polished out. But it's Eddie Marine EMI Thunder Series valve covers. It's Summit Racing. And like I said, they do have the top cut right here, So if you want to run a set of these CX Racing headers, and I've got, you know, a friend with a Nova that's got them on his, but I also know a guy that's running a set with just a V-clamp to 3-inch, and he actually just running the exhaust around and running it right out the fender. And it's on an NA car and no power adder or anything. I think he might have a little nitrous on it or something, but you know, no turbo or supercharger or anything. He used them because of space constraints, and nobody made a fender exit header for the vehicle he's got. So he used a set of these. But, you know, where they dump, as you can see on the engine, and the one on the other side dumps about right midway in the motor. This one dumps a little further forward. You know, you put an elbow on there and run your exhaust, you can run it wherever you want. And you got a stainless header. So, you know, for you guys wanting a small, big blocking S10, this is the way to go. I wish I knew about these beforehand. I'd have run them on the old motor even without a turbo. But as you can see, you know, you've got to run a spacer, and a marine spacer is the only way you're going to get it. Them big marine headers are heavy, so you know that you're going to have to run a decent stud in here. And I wouldn't recommend running a bolt, because then the bolt's going in and out, which will wear the threads out in your head. Put a stud in it with some anti-seize, and then you can take it on and off the stud. So, Dorman makes some grade 5 studs, some grade 8 studs. You can also get some stainless all thread if you want to go that route, or you can buy some grade 8 all thread, 3/8/16, and do it that way. You know, or you can put a 3/8/16 stud with a 3/8/24 out here with a fine thread nut on it, whatever you want to do. But I just wanted to make a video to tell you about those Eddy Marine valve covers, and I sent all the information to CX Racing too, so they would let people know that you can run that tall valve cover with their header, because that's the limiting factor, is they hit the valve cover. So without some kind of either spacer in here, or which gives you 2 gaskets to leak, and everybody knows on turbo setups, exhaust leaks are kind of a bitch thing. But when I put these on, I'll show you a trick to that, to get that shit to quit happening too. But yeah, like I said, they're just cut off like about right here. They cut off all the way down to almost like a 1/2 inch, and then they go down. So, and these damn things got like a 1/2 inch thick billet rail on them. But this has got to go back on the other engine. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video real quick to share that point with everyone. If you want to run a set of these, they're a nice made header. They'll work fender exit on just about anything with a big block in it, because they're high and tight to the engine. If you want to run a tall valve cover, Eddy Marine makes some really nice ones. Just wanted to share that with everybody. Later.